I'm Trey B. Lyon.
And I'm J Mello the Great.
And you're listening to T&J's Child's Play.
We created this podcast to give young adults an escape from their daily lives.
But we're here to remind you that shit is still real, so wake the up.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.
We like to highlight excellence in the young black community.
As well as give y'all some bomb advice and create a place where you can just kick it with us. Catch our show here every Thursday with some new content, and make sure to follow us on our social medias at T&J's Child's Play.
Woo woo! Yeah, and welcome back to T&J's Child's Play, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast. You're tuning into 95.7 R&B.
Quiet Storm. Head ass.
Wow.
Hey!
What's up, guys? We missed y'all because we weren't here for the 4th. We weren't here for we was out kicking it. So we back now.
Yeah, we are.
We back. Jada went on vacation and stuff. She just thinks she Beyonce going on tour and shit. So, yeah.
Flights, baby, flights.
She is taking flights, taking trips. How was that? How was vacation?
It was fun. It was really good. It was really nice. It was great seeing all the little kids go crazy over Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. I hear even for the adults, it's still an experience. You know, it's still
It was
fun.
just crazy, seeing the stuff back in the day. Because when I went, the first time I went, I was 7 or 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, seeing some of the places we went, I was like, wow, I remember being here.
You haven't been back since you were 6 or 7.
To Disney World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
was
went
good.
some years ago, but I know a lot of things have changed because they got a lot of money. Disney got a lot of money.
They put a lot of money into it. Downtown Disney ain't Downtown Disney no more. It's Disney Springs.
Whoa, Springs.
Designer stores is up in there.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa, what happened?
What type of designer stores?
What did they have? They had a Zara, which was crazy. That's not a designer store they had. But it was Coach in there. Michael Kors was in there. I think, was it a Gucci in there?
Wow,
Maybe.
they had Gucci.
I think. And they had another mall that we were going to, but then we ended up going to the Florida Mall. And that mall had Ferragamo, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, stuff like that in there. I was like, okay, Orlando. Oh.
You stay in a mall. You always shopping and buying something.
It's bad. Get it from my mom.
Ooh.
If you're listening, hey, Mom.
Wow, Mom.
She has a room full of shoes.
Wow, you just throwing out your mom.
It's my future.
Just throwing out your
It's my future.
Got it. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your weekend.
That was pretty cool.
Spent some time with some family for the 4th.
Hey,
so,
fam.
Yeah, I had to make up to my dog because my dog's mad at me right now. Because I'm not home.
Yeah.
So he not really.
He don't like that.
He not my best friend right now. So I had to drop some money on him, buy him some treats, and buy him a little couple of toys. He still won't. He you're not slick.
Right.
You're not slick. You don't think that you're about to come home and buy me stuff
and then everything will be okay.
Everything's gonna be fine. That's just not how it's gonna work. Yeah. And I understood that. I respect that. Yeah. It's cool. But he slept underneath me, so it was cool. But it was when I was time for me to leave and come back, he was sad.
Yeah.
My little dog. That's my dog.
That's my dog. Yeah. That's my dog. We're gonna get copyright bug.
Yeah. T&J, copyright content. Can't say that. Can't do this. All right. We in the ghetto, y'all.
We are. We really is in the trap. We in the trenches.
This is what you do for your sound to be great. Now we spent 30, 45 minutes just trying to perfect this sound. So we working. We are working. So fire trucks, people cussing in the background.
Yeah.
We in the hood, y'all.
We in the trap.
We in the ghetto. We just make it work. We make it work. We make it work.
We make it work.
All right, I'm going to get into the quote today. So, quote of the day for this week is by my forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. Her quote reads, "Do not bring people into your life who weigh you down, and trust your instincts. Good relationships feel good. They feel right. They don't hurt." Michelle Obama.
Yes, it was a really good quote. It was a very accurate quote. Everything that she says and every different piece of content that she puts out is always very relatable to the person of color.
Yeah.
Always.
I love that.
Every time I see a clip, it doesn't matter, on TV, YouTube, Instagram, it always has some type of structure to it.
That's good though. That means
It's
you're
so
doing you're relaying a message out because that's what people want.
Right.
People, they want something that they can relate to, and I feel like that's what we try to do. We try to provide something where they can relate to. We try to provide a conversation like, yo, we college students, you know, we do it too. We got a podcast, you can do it too. Like, we try to relate that to y'all. Like, be relatable.
Right. She's the prime example of organic, like, straight up content.
Speaking of organic, I seen her on an Instagram post, I think it was like from the Essence Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice while she was in office, she had her straight hair.
Yeah.
Now she has her
now
natural
it's natural.
Hair. It's her natural
It's
hair.
her natural hair.
Which, I mean, these are things you have to do when you're in, like, I'm not going to say like the public eye, but like, you know, she's in the White House and I guess the first lady. Of course, she's talked about a lot more than to now. She's not, you know, first lady anymore. She's still not first lady. I don't care what y'all say. But like, she has to wear her natural, when she's wearing her natural, you know, her feeling herself. And I think that part of it was like the Essence Fest too, but I don't know if I've ever seen her. That's just something that stood out to me. I was like, whoa, she got her natural hair.
That interview was really good. She really captivated and talked about her lifestyle and related it back to everybody else. Like, you have to stay to the protocol, especially if you're working a 9 to 5 in corporate America. You have to go through the white protocols, and that's what she had to do basically her whole life.
Yeah.
Just think about the careers that they had before then, with all the lawyers and all the senator positions. They had to stay the protocol. So when the opportunity presented itself, they were ready for it.
Yeah. I feel like she talked about that too, like when I think she did an interview with Oprah, you know, talking about how like everything was just like checking boxes for her. And I think I talked about this before, like, you know, like going to law school and stuff like that was a box check for her.
Right.
Like all of these boxes were checked. She's like, am I happy? You know, like, am I doing what I want to do? You know, so, you know, just make sure if y'all out here checking boxes and meeting requirements and stuff, make sure that you're still doing what you want to do and you're staying true to yourself, organic, as we say.
Right.
So yeah, I bang with that. My forever first lady, Michelle Obama. So
just stick with it. Like, just don't give up on it, because you can see when people don't give up on it, and you go through the trials and tribulations, and you don't just quit when something doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
You get to your end goal.
And I mean, if you quit the first time when somebody throw a curve at you or don't work out, whatever, you weren't supposed to do it anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to give up? If this is something that you really want to do, then keep at it. Anything, you know, anything that you want to do. No matter if you writing, no matter if you doing a podcast, YouTube, whatever. If this is what you want to do, then stick to it. You know, like, be dedicated to it and ride till the wheels fall off, for real. Yeah. Like I said, we in the ghetto right now. Out here in the trap, making it happen.
But another good quote that did come from that conversation she had with Gail was the quote. It stated, "There will be people that will try to define you before you can define yourself." I think that was a very pivotal moment within the interview. It goes really back to what I was talking about with white America and whatnot. They will try to make you into the angry black woman. They'll try to make you into everything and anything. They will judge you until you actually get the opportunity to present yourself. So that's why the things go back to her having to have the straight hair, like you said, and for them not to have any scandal within their terms of presidency or their campaigns, because they had to, and some people have to. And then on the other fence, people don't realize other people, other ethnicities, they don't understand it. So just make sure that you stay true to yourself, but then again, still look back and see the environment that you are living within, because we can't help it.
Right, absolutely. And I think, you know, what she said is people try to define you before you can define yourself. I think that's in anything. You know, I think anybody, you know, everybody tries to push you into a box before you actually create what your box is.
Judgment is real.
You know, like I see this person for them being this. Whoa, like, can you not judge me? Let me allow me the opportunity to present myself and let you know what I'm about before you go ahead and assume. Don't judge a book by its cover type thing.
Yes.
You know? So
that's exactly what it is. It's another metaphor for that. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Facts.
Yeah. Everybody should have the opportunity to show what they can do.
Absolutely, I agree. And speaking of somebody else who is in the spotlight right now, not like the First Lady, but she's in the spotlight as well. I want to talk about Megan Thee Stallion.
Big. Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer. She's out here killing it, for real. She really is killing it. I think she's keeping these girls motivated.
Did you see the tweet she put out?
Which one? About
the dudes?
Yeah, like don't think it's not a... What did she say? Like,
she was like, don't think that you're like in the lead because you're doing something wrong or something like that.
Yeah. Basically like...
because you're getting caught by your girl. That said something like that.
And she's always defending her crew. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's somebody who is like very in the light right now. And I think a lot of people are like giving her hell. And I think that's just something that people do when you're in the like entertainment industry anyway, or in the spotlight, in the public eye. you get a lot of smoke basically. But I think one thing I have to applaud her for is like she always keeps it organic, as you could say. She keeps true to herself. I think a lot of upcoming artists, they like beef with other artists,
Right.
and it's just it doesn't give it gives off a bad taste, I guess you could say. But she's really like in her lane, her fans or whatever is like, drifting away or talking about another artist. She brings them back, I think that's part of your job as an artist,
Yeah. Social media is just, it's a beast.
Yeah.
It's a real beast because I feel like social media, it obviously changed the culture of hip hop and whatnot. Because when we were little kids and we weren't listening to it, but the Jay-Z and Nas and those type of beats, they didn't have no social media. It was literally strictly about the music or about something else. It wasn't about no petty Instagram stuff. So I think Instagram, not just Instagram, just social media, it kind of gives a negative light on it, and it has spun it out of control.
And it hypes it up too.
Exactly, it hypes it up. So you should know. Well, I'm not saying you should know, but like stay true to yourself, like you said.
Yeah.
Because once you try to be somebody that you're not, that's really when things go out of hand.
Right.
And these artists, celebrities, everybody, you're gonna fail if you're not staying true to yourself.
Right. So my question is, do you think like the artists who like follow behind her will stay in like their lane as she has done? Like, she see how they're seeing how successful that she is, in her music and stuff. Do you think they will follow the same template and be like, yo, let me stay to myself too? Let me stay in my lane, or do you think they're going? Because some people, when they cause beef or whatever, it's just for clout. Who's
Exactly.
6ix9ine, like all of these people, they have created this beef and like clouded themselves up.
It's so many. That girl Hazel E trying to say, "Oh, the City Girl song, my song." No, it's not your song.
Do you think that other people are going to do the same thing and like try to be more
Yes,
organic?
there's definitely going to be female MCs out there that's going to look up to her, and they're going to be like, okay, well, if it worked for her, just putting out these videos and doing this is going to work. But then, obviously, you're going to get the people who want to be like, oh, I want to be just like Cardi B. I want to be just like Cash Doll, which I love those artists, but they're going to try to take the route of doing other things that they probably wouldn't be comfortable doing to get to the top.
Right.
So, I mean, it just depends on the person you are and why you want to get in the music industry. It's different if you just want to be a great rapper or if you just want to be a celebrity or somebody who got a hit song out and now I'm popping.
Yeah.
It's different. Like, it depends on what you want out of the industry.
That's very true. I think the whole message that we're getting is like, keep it to yourself, keep it organic.
Right, keep
like,
it organic,
as
definitely. And like, especially for the people out here who's trying to come out here and be like, oh, well, I want to be the greatest rapper of all time, this and the third. Well, it's a lot that goes into it. Like, you really don't see half of the things that go into being a great rapper, artist, or writing all of your own stuff. That's a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to do.
And I don't think it's impossible.
It's not.
I don't think that your motivation or drive should be, oh, I want to be the greatest rapper. No, I want to be the greatest at what I do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm rap. Okay, I'm a rap, but I'm.
And knowing the difference between that can go a long way.
Yeah, like just like work on your content and your what you're putting out. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Be your own competition.
Your image.
Yeah, and I think try to outdo yourself every other time. Not crazy, but like what can I do differently, and how can I make this better? How can I improve this? In order to, because if you start improving things, you start doing things differently than how other people do it, then you're automatically going to stand out. Because like, whoa, that shit over there is different. Like he's doing something different. She's doing something different. So I think if you just really work on your content or whatever you're trying to do, I think that makes you stand out anyway. So you can be that greatest rapper or greatest singer or whatever just by working on your stuff, your craft.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. But I like how she's just, she's very organic. She's to herself. There's no beef with her. I like that about her.
And she's made that clear, too.
Yeah.
But you see, just like I said with the Instagram, the social media stuff, Nicki Minaj, before this whole, it's not even a persona, but before her captivating her career the way it was, she was on the exact same level and energy as Megan Thee Stallion when she was coming up.
Yeah.
So you can see how all the success and the fame, you can get blinded by that. Yeah. I'm not saying Nicki Minaj is blinded by it, but obviously people change. Yeah. And she's changed and she's cultivated to the person that she is today. Mm-hmm. So just like I said, like there's so many different volumes and whatnot. And record labels, like if you sign to a record label and they tell you, oh, we want you to do this, that, and the third, you can sign a 360 deal, you're going to have to do this, that, and the third to promote your music. Yeah. So it's just so many different underlying things. So you're supposed to just own your stuff. If you want to be an artist out there, an authentic artist, own your stuff from the beginning and let people know what you exactly want for your career. If you know what you want, then a lot of bullshit is going to be out your way automatically.
And your fan base can follow
Exactly.
right behind you. And I think another good point that you made was like similar to how, Nicki Minaj had came up and she was like on every track. I'm like, I remember when she first came out, I was
track.
Like, bruh, like this girl's on everything. Right. Like, can she not? Like, not to hate on her, but I was like, yo, she's on everything.
Every single track. And every time she did an interview back in 08, 07, you would always see her paying homage to people. Foxy Brown, Ribby Bob, Lil' Kim. Before all those beefs, she was paying homage to them.
Yeah.
So obviously something within that changed.
Yeah.
That's just how the music industry goes. So you just have to go into it not thinking that you're just gonna be this, oh my God, this big pop star and nothing's gonna happen.
I think one thing about, Megan Thee Stallion too is like, I'm not saying that a lot of artists didn't do it, but she frequently shows like, yo, like, I'm not only am I just putting down tracks or songs, whatever, I can freestyle. I can
rap.
I can rap and I can kill the shit on the spot.
Can rap.
Like, I mean, it's videos, like she posts on her Instagram to prove it. I'm like, whoa, like this girl, like, really has some talent. She really does have some talent.
And then it's other people out there. I know we've been talking about this for a minute, but there's other people out there that's saying, okay, so who else can rap like that? Like, she's the only one out here. There's people who can rap, but it takes more than just knowing how to rap to cultivate a rap career. Mm-hmm. If you don't have it to do all this promo and whatnot, it's all about your drive. So you can freestyle, okay, there's probably a whole bunch of people who can freestyle, females who can freestyle in the country, but they don't have what it takes to take a step further and make it their career. That's just honest. And there's a lot that goes into being a female rapper. You don't get the same handout as a male.
Yeah. I mean, that's with anything, though. Like, females always have to work, a lot harder.
Right.
I'm not talking from experience, but, I'm just saying, like, I see that females have to work a lot harder, and I've heard a lot of celebrities, females say that, like, they had to really, work 20 times harder than the male to get to where they are. So.
Exactly. And that's why I always have a big up with Nicki Minaj, because, like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I can not even imagine half of the stuff she had to go through.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, yeah, Hot Girl Meg, Hot Girl Summer.
Yeah. Speaking of summer, I think, and I was talking to Jade about this, that, like, summer is a time for, like, reflection and, like, like, going over, like, what you have, like, experienced and stuff throughout, like, the semesters and, like, what you've learned. So, with that being said, like, what do you think you've learned, like, with, like, reflecting over yourself this summer? Like, what's something that you, like, took away?
Some things that I've learned is that first, you have to constantly be thinking about what's ahead of you. Yeah. I've been thinking about what's ahead of me for a long time. Life is very short. Yeah. A lot of people around us are dying, and they're like the same age as us. So I just think that you should be able to conquer everything that you want to. And in order to do that, you always have to plan ahead. So, like, just like us, like, we're planning ahead for the fall semester, and then the fall semester we're going to be planning ahead for spring, and so forth and so on. So for it to be effective, you have to have at least a way that you're going to attack it.
Right.
And everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything's not going to be perfect, but you have to have at least a forefront for that. And that goes with anything that you do.
Yeah, that's very true. I think that's definitely something that I've learned in the previous semester is that planning is essential.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, and if you want something to be successful, if you want to be successful in what you're doing, whether it be school or podcast or whatever you're doing, you have to plan ahead and say, oh, I need to do this on this day, and I need to get this done at this time or whatever. And it seems like so like type A, meaning do it. But that's how you get things done, because if you're not and you're going day to day on certain things, you might get some things done on one day and another thing done on another day. But like you're planning ahead, and I definitely think that's something that's useful. And
I feel like the summer really bites young people in the ass, for real. Because you do for 9 months straight, you going hard at it at work or school or whatnot, for, sports, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
For 9 months, you're just doing it. Then summertime comes on, and it's like you just want to do nothing but sit down, lay down, play the game, go to the beach.
Yeah.
You take your break, but you still have to keep your brain going, because once it stops, then
it's
we're
hard
in.
To pick back up.
Yeah, we're in September, and now you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, it's hard to pick back up. And that's why we had to take that break from the podcast and stuff. We had to kind of like we chilled out, like me and Jada, like we
We
order pizza,
chill.
we watch movies, we laugh, we was like, okay, we started talking about some things like for the podcast, and then, as time got closer, we started to pick things up.
Yep.
But when we said that was for a break, like we were actually taking a break, we were taking a break.
A whole break from this brand.
So when we started to kick it back up and we started doing pictures and stuff like that, that was like a couple weeks up until.
Yeah.
Because we're like, we need a break from all this. Because if you think about it, while we're doing school and stuff like that, we're planning and stuff like when we're doing this podcast. Sometimes things work out, sometimes things wouldn't work out when we were trying to record. So all of that stress and everything that we were going through was on us at that time when we were trying to do this podcast. So like when we had that break, when school let out, it was like, we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe for a minute. Even though it was for a month, it was long enough where we had a break to like regroup. We thought about, what are some of the things that we want to talk about and like bring back to the podcast. So, a break is definitely essential. But as Jada said, I definitely would suggest that you keep your mind going and you always have something that you're trying to do.
Just always keep something there. And just like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything. It could even be a thought, but like you have to just go into it having some type of strategic plan or obligation, because if you don't, then you're just going to be set back into those ways. And I know how easy it is to get into your ways and just have to get out now. Now you have to just force yourself to do things, and now it's like forceful when it could be easier than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, like, summer school is, like, in session now, so my brain is working and functioning or whatever. And I feel like I come up with better topics and stuff when I'm, like, not physically doing something, but, like, when I'm in school and I have, like, a schedule or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I'm in class or whatever, like, certain things and topics, like, come to me just like this.
Because we're automatically on it.
Like, right, thinking about it or whatever. So I think, like, I don't know, I'm not going to say conversations, but, like, we come up with a lot more, throughout the semester or while we're in school or actively doing something. But, just thinking about reflection for myself, I think around the New Year time, like January, February time, I started to, look for myself and show up for myself even more. So, like in reflection, like I think I've improved on that,
Okay.
Yeah, like I definitely think I improved on that, and like I'm doing that more. Like I set aside certain times and things for me to do for myself. I have to remind myself, hey, if you want this, then hey, save up for it or go buy it or whatever. Like you need to treat yourself how you would treat any other person, but treat it better. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's gonna be there for the end like you're gonna be there for yourself.
Yeah.
So I definitely take the time to make sure that I'm okay and that I'm good or whatever. So really, really paying attention to myself is something that I've over this summer have reflected and thought about a lot more. Because I think like us as college students, like we have a lot of requirements and stuff that we have to meet or whatever, and we're just so do, like get this done, that we don't take time to actually reflect and think, okay, how can I better or improve myself, And I think that's something that you have to think about often. If you want to better yourself going forward, you have to say, hey, like, what are some of the things that I can do better? Or how can I be better at this or whatever? Because if you're not thinking about it, you're just doing the same thing over and over. You're not improving as a person.
Right.
You got to work on it. It takes work. So I don't think we hold ourselves accountable enough. So you got to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable with the things that you want to do, and that we make time for that. Because I think that's important.
You have to make time for yourself.
You make time for the things you want. If you want a happy life, make time for that. Make time to make yourself happy.
Honestly, really make time for yourself to be happy, because a lot of things can happen if you don't know your self-worth, but that's for another podcast.
Yes. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I think too, like growing up, like you have your parents and you're so like codependent.
Yep.
And now you come to college and it's like, okay, I'm in college now. Like, I need to not depend on somebody, but I guess you're looking for something else. You're looking for that other thing to be there.
That's a great point.
You're looking for the other thing to be there, and it's like, you don't need that other thing. Now it's independence. Now it's you can do it on your own. When you were growing up, it's like, okay, being by yourself is like, not odd, but like you had your parents around and somebody around you so often, and now to go from that to nothing at all. I mean, your friends and stuff, but
it's different.
At the end of the day, it's you.
I completely understand, and that's a great point that you bring up.
Yeah.
We honestly need to go a little bit deeper into that point, because I can honestly see that within a lot of people, especially a lot of freshmen. It's like they feel like, oh, I need this, I need that,
Right.
one night stands, all this and that. And it's really unnecessary when you really think about it.
Yeah.
And for you to realize that, it's going to be a lot of work for you to do.
Yeah.
Or I could say it's going to be a lot of work, but honestly, when I sit back and look at like self as one whole thing, it is a lot of work, but once you get down to the root of what will make you happy,
Right.
a lot of things will fall in place.
Mm.
But for you to look at that, you're gonna have to shut a couple of people out because a lot of people are gonna try to blind that,
Yeah.
and you won't even realize it.
Mm.
So I mean, once you find out what makes you happy, you're not gonna feel that empty.
Yeah. And I can see how people can feel like a void or, feel like they need that
Right.
person or person.
It makes sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. But you have to, teach yourself, in life, you will have yourself.
Right.
You will have your parents, but your parents are always going to always be there.
Right.
And that you need to be dependent on yourself.
Right. It's you.
And get comfortable with that. And that might mean taking time to yourself, being alone, whatever. Like I was talking about, that December, January time for me, whatever. I learned a lot about myself. And that was that not being codependent, being on your own, being by yourself. And I think that we don't realize, that's just like a back in the mind thing, that those things need to happen. They need to happen in order for you to be your full potential self.
And it kind of ties into it, but I kind of hate this saying now, how I'm going to meet my husband or I'm going to meet my wife in the Army or in college. A lot of people go into the mindset of thinking that, I'm going to find somebody who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
Newsflash, it doesn't always happen like that.
Yeah.
I'll say about 50-50. I'm not even 50-50. About 30% of people who probably graduate, they probably are with the person that they're going to potentially marry.
Right.
But honestly, this place is for you to find yourself.
Yes.
And it's for you to learn how to live by yourself,
Yeah.
honestly, when you think about it. It's not really meant for us to be looking out for a husband and wife, because stuff will be totally different.
Yeah.
It's meant for us to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even on a learning tip. We come here for degrees and whatnot and find a job and whatnot, but it's really lifestyle when you think about it.
Yeah, and I can say that has been the biggest thing that I have taken away from school is learning how to be on my own.
Right.
And how to
That's the biggest lesson.
Myself. Yes, no class has taught me that. It's me on my own and my experiences.
Yeah.
So when people ask, is college worth it? Hell yeah, it
Definitely.
is. It definitely is. 'Cause it just teaches you so much because you're away from home. You have to depend on yourself. You learn a lot of things about yourself when you're not, at home. So
Right.
that's for real. A lot.
And that will probably affect people. Say if you do go to community college is great. You save money, and people actually figure out what they really want to do with their life when they do 2-year programs like that. But just think about it. You're at home for another 2 to 3 years. You're probably working a job. And then once you figure out what you want to do, now you're in this house or this apartment. And it's wow, I'm by myself. What do I do next?
Yeah.
We know what to do next.
Yeah. That's all on you.
Right.
It's all on you. Facts. Yeah, but we just had to take that time and make sure that we're just reflecting over, what are some of the things that we learned. Because I feel like in order for you to grow, you have to know what you learned and process that information. And I feel like that's what we've done here. You got the melanin report for this week.
Melanin report.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah, they do have his name. Wait, is it his name? Oh, well, no, it's not his name. What is it? I don't think they have his name on here, but shouts out to the 19-year-old black young man. He created the role of Black Rolf, and he's getting a Warner Brothers animation internship where he will be working on Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham special on Netflix. He's getting that Netflix check.
Dope. I love to see
Warner Bros. And Netflix at 19.
Yeah.
What?
Killing the game. I love to see young black people out here going and getting it. Get into that bag, get into that money, that shmoney.
That's insane.
Shout out to you, sir, for getting that. But I think we touched on a lot.
Yeah, we did.
In such a short time.
Yeah.
It was very brief.
Yeah.
But it was like a speed course in life.
Yeah. It's a summer
organic,
course.
Summer course. Yes.
Summer course.
I'm taking one of those right now, and it's not the best.
Yeah, I'm taking one too. Let's drop it.
Yeah. But guys, that wraps up this podcast. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on everything at TNJ's Child's Play. We appreciate you guys so much for sticking with us and sticking with it. Oh. And what else you got, Jalen?
That's about it. Thank you for tuning in to everything. A couple YouTube videos probably gonna come your way in the future. And follow us on everything. T&J's Child's Play.
All right, y'all.
All right, bye-bye. We hope you enjoyed our podcast.
We're here every Thursday with some new
If you have something to say it to my face.
Or let us know on Instagram and Twitter at T&J's Child's Play.
Make sure you're subscribed to get notified about our podcast.